What is going on, you guys? Welcome to today's video. As you can see, we have the new Wagon up on the lift. The goal for today, I want to go over the entire car, see what it needs, fix it today, and have inspection tomorrow. Now, I drove the car home for the first time yesterday. It starts up fine, idles fine. The car drives very, very nicely. The one thing I said, the brakes suck. Now, when I show you these brake rotors, these are the worst brake rotors I've ever seen. Now, if you remember when I bought the Jetta VR6 wagon, that car had super crusty brake rotors. This car makes that car look brand new. I have never seen, I mean, look at this. I have never seen a brake rotor this toasted, this crusty in my lifetime. When you brake in this car, the whole entire wheel shakes like crazy. It's very unsafe, but I drove slow, but like I've never seen rotors this bad. The brake pads barely have any life left. I've seen worse than that with brake pads, but the brake rotor, look, there's like chunks missing out of the face of it. I've never seen rotors this bad in my life. Same thing on this side, just completely toasted. Like chunks missing. I don't know how it got this bad, but like there's a huge, I'm going to show on camera, but there's like at least, I don't know, like a millimeter lip at the top of this thing where it's been grooved out. Like these things are toasted. The back is a little bit better, a little bit better. There's no chunks missing out of this one, at least. The rear brake pads actually look fairly new-ish. They're much more than the fronts, but toasted on this side. And then if we go over to this side, same story. So I mean, they're bad. They're really bad. So today, need adjusted brakes 100%. But other than that, the car looks pretty clean. If you go under here, all the rockers are not crushed. A little bit dirty from driving the Junkyard, but underside of the car is really not bad. There's a little bit of just like grease and stuff right here, but the axle cups don't look to be leaking. Over here looks fairly dry, like the rear seal on this side. So a quick wipe down, some degreaser, brake cleaner, wipe that off, should be good to go. Pan's not leaking, maybe a little bit starting up here, but really not bad. I do have a torn axle boot, which I'll fail for, which is kind of annoying. I don't really want to swap axles today, but if I can find one, I might. But other than that, man, it's really not bad down here. For 279,000 kilometers, really not bad. So this isn't torn. I have one torn axle boot there. That one looks to be good, and so does this one, so that's good. Steering felt fine in the car, so ball joints might be okay. Wheel bearings are fine. A little bit of crust through here, but overall, I mean, really not in bad shape. Like I said, all the rockers are really nice. Not smashed up a little bit here, but I mean, normally you see them, they're flat to the bottom of the car, so that looks really good. Typical rusty gas tank straps, nothing new there. A little bit up here, surface rust wise, but overall, she's looking pretty clean. I don't have any broken springs. This one might be getting close, so you can see kind of rusty in there, but I only need it for like 2 weeks, so it's not broken right now, not a big deal. But yeah, aside from just how completely horrible the brakes are, other than that, the car's looking really good. No leaks in the front. We have one torn boot, but my biggest concern is these bad boys, because these things are so bad. That's crazy. So today we'll address those. Also, the rear tires, this one's a front and the other front looks just like this one. Very good tread, no problem there. But the rear tires, they both have some wear on the outside on this one, and then on that one it has wear on the outside and the inside. I'm not sure if I'll fail for that, but just in case, I brought my spare 205 4517s, which are these ones right over here. So I have 2 of these ones and 2 of those ones, but they're all the same size, so no big deal. And I've had a spare set of 17-inch wheels here for the longest time. I paid 50 bucks maybe a year and a half ago. Never used them for anything, but here they are. So these are made by a company called Rondo. They're kind of like Audi style wheels, but 5x100, 17x8, ET35, I think. Cool, simple wheel. I think the gray on the blue will look sick. Right now they have 215. Yeah, 215 4017s, but they're all super balls. So taking those off, putting on the 205 4517, and should be a nice looking wheel for the car. So it's looking like we should have a fairly straightforward day. Swap out the rotors and the pads, front and rear. I brought my tool to compress the rear, so we got everything we need here. I have new tires, I have new wheels. Other than that, the car looks good. There's no lights on in the car, no ABS, no engine light, none of that kind of stuff. We don't have any major leaks. I do have the torn axle boot, which I will probably fail for that. I might swap an axle as well. I have some here that I can get. I might as well do that. So we'll do the brakes, the axle, the tires, and then after that, I think we should pass inspection first try, unless they're being super picky and I don't see something, but I think we'll be all set for tomorrow. Still can't believe how just completely toasted these brakes are. Like, why would you let them get this bad? If I can get that here. It's stuck. Look at this thing. And there's still a little bit of meat left, but like, why would you let it go down that far? And it's like all like cracked. And this thing is just, the lip on here is huge. It's crazy. There's chunk missing there, chunk missing there, chunk. It's ridiculous. I cannot believe someone would be like, yeah, this is fine. When I break, my whole entire car does the death wobble, but it's cool. So the old rotor is now off. Something interesting though, I just went through and I compressed this caliper like you normally do. As I compressed it, I heard like dripping water, and now there's brake fluid over here. So as I compress this, brake fluid from, I'm assuming the master or the reservoir itself, is now dripping, which is interesting. So either the cap is not on, which I'm hoping that'd be best case scenario, or there's something, there's a crack in the line, but it would have been leaking before, so maybe it's just the cap's not on tight enough. And as I pressed this, the fluid went back up, it just overflowed and came out. So I'm hoping that's all this is, because I don't want to do brake lines or master stuff today. So please just be an open cap. So brakes in the front officially done. Moving on to the rear now. It's kind of weird because the rear pads are pretty new. That's almost like, I would say 100% life, maybe like at least 80%. They're still pretty good, but the rotor is so toasted. Like, there's giant chunks missing all over the place. What they had to have done is replace the pads, because they're probably cheaper, and they didn't swap the rotor out. They just kept using the same rotor over and over and over again. Then this has to be at least, I would say, 2-3 like life cycles, like changing the pad like 2 or 3 times and just leaving the same rotor, because like I don't know how else you would get it to be this bad. It's like all textured and giant chunks missing. All right, last one for the scrap pile. I still cannot believe why would you let this happen? Like, absolutely insane. Craziness. But same story on the rear of this side. The pads look fairly new. I mean, still plenty of life left. I said almost the same size as like brand new, but just the rotors were completely trashed. So at this point, brake rotors and pads are on the entire car completely done, and I found some Rust-Oleum gloss black. So went ahead, painted the calipers gloss black. It looks so much better than before, but I'm not gonna show you just yet. I'm gonna wait until after the wheels are done, put everything together, and then I'll show you. Give you guys one last look at the before. Like I said, these are 17x8 with a 215/40 all around. You can see how it fits, very square setup, but going to the 205/45, it'll be a little bit taller, which is good for 17s on a Mark IV if you're not gonna be super low, and we'll have a little bit of a stretch, so it should be a nice fit for the wheels. Man, not bad. Little 205/45 on an 8. What's it? A little bit of a stretch, but nothing crazy. I think it's a super good tire size for if you're stacked on a Mark IV, not super low. The 45 fills the wheel well super nice, so I'm happy with this. Oh yeah, super happy with that. I think the gunmetal on the blue gonna be sick. I wish I had the center caps for these, but it's not the end of the world. All right, so Wagon officially back down on the ground. We've got new wheels, got new tires, brakes are done front and rear. This thing is looking sick. I wish the hatch wasn't white, but again, that's my own fault, and it's going to a good home on my Jetta Wagon, so not the biggest deal. But this thing's looking sick. I love the dark wheels on the blue. They're kind of dirty, still need to wash them, but for the most part, they look sick, and the fitment's really not bad at all. Look at this. Maybe, no, 10 or 15 mil space in the rear, but the front's pretty good. Not too bad. Not too bad. So that's 17x8 ET35 with a 205/45 tire. Not bad. Lowered down to like, you know, here or so, she'll be sitting pretty good. So brakes done, wheels are done. I fixed the blown out bulb in the rear. That's taken care of. Also, if you remember yesterday's video, I was driving the car. I kind of whipped it through the parking lot a little bit, and my oil light came on and it was flashing red, meaning the car has like no oil. So I go over here and I check the oil level. I pull the dipstick out. There's nothing. And I repeat, nothing on the dipstick. I put a quart of oil in. I'm like this much on the dipstick. So I had to put 2 quarts of oil in this thing out of like the 4 quarts it has when it's fully full. But 2.0s run on literally nothing, and these things are bulletproof because this car ran so smooth. There's no knocking sound, no ticking sound, nothing. It ran perfectly fine, and we were like 2 quarts of oil down. But good old 2.0, and there's no like oil leak underneath, so it's probably just burning oil, which they do that. But you know what, she's fine. Only need this car for a little bit, and hey, it is what it is. The 2.0, she's fine, not worried about it. Wheels and tires are good. Got the black calipers in there. Not too bad. Not too bad. So I think we're good for inspection tomorrow. I hope. We might still fail, but it is what it is. If we fail, oh well. I would like to pass, but if not, really not a big deal. If it's something easy I can fix, I'll probably do it. But if not, we'll rock temp plates for 30 days, rejunk the car, and then we're out of here. So not worried about it in the slightest bit. So I just went through, cleaned the entire interior, wiped everything down, vacuumed the carpets, the seats, got it all looking pretty good. I don't love the tan in this car. I much prefer black interior, but now that it's all clean, it's growing on me a little bit. It's not amazing, but at least now everything's wiped down, everything's nice and clean. The two-tone seats, the two-tone door cards, it's growing on me. I mean, I don't love it, but now it's clean, I don't hate it either. You know, for a cheap little Junkyard daily, this thing's looking, she's looking pretty good. Let me go ahead and close this. This front, like 3/4 angle, like right here, you get kind of low like this. Oh, actually, no, hold on. I can see the hatch still. Just kidding. Let me close this down real fast. Get this out of the way. Okay, here we go. Now I will close this too. We'll close this too. Let me just close all the doors. Hold on, stand by. We'll close this one. We'll close this one. Here we go. Now, you get right here, you get low. That's a good looking car. It's got some things it needs, some paint fade here and there, but like, that's a good looking car. Also, I don't know why, looking at the car, like I love the charcoal gray with the blue, but I kind of think these wheels paint matched in surf blue would just look sick on this car. Like paint match in the blue, and then even I go as far as saying like white tire stencils on the tire could look pretty cool. Kind of like I don't know, kind of reminds me of the Porsche 928 or 924 CS, 926 CS. One of the CSs has a blue like this with paint match wheels, a paint match cage, all that kind of stuff. But this blue reminds me of that car. And I think blue with blue and like race car kind of like tire stencils would look cool. Obviously the car's not fast, it's not a race car, but I think the overall look will look kind of sick on this car. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not investing that much into this car, but I could see it. I could definitely see it. So I'm sure this has been done before, but what I have in front of me, kind of a cool opportunity to show you guys surf blue right next to Jazz Blue. So LA5C for the surf blue, or sometimes it's called golf surf blue, but either way, LA5C right next to LW5Z, right? LW5Z, yes. Jazz Blue, surf blue. And I gotta say, they look so similar. The Jazz Blue is a bit more blue, or this one has a bit more, it's just a bit lighter, but like honestly, like they're almost identical. But you can tell from right here, the Jazz Blue is more blue. This is a bit lighter, but still kind of cool to be able to see them both side by side. When I first saw this car, I thought this car was Jazz Blue, but it's not. Surf Blue again, LA5C versus an actual Jazz Blue, LW5Z. Kind of cool though. I'm sure it's been done before, but to actually see them side by side, it's pretty cool. All right, here we go. Little 2.0 power, third gear. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm feeling it. Oh, there it is. There it is. Woo! Oh my goodness. I mean, it's almost too fast. Whew. That good old 2.0 power, man. Oh, what a beauty. Also, now when I brake, the car doesn't do doesn't do that anymore. It was bad. I wish I filmed it, but it was bad. You guys can't feel it, but I'm getting this little like hesitation, kind of like stutter as I'm accelerating. I'm assuming the car needs new plugs for sure. I don't have any right now, but maybe tomorrow I can grab some before inspection. Other than that, the car is good. No lights on the dash, but it's kind of like stuttering a little bit. I didn't have a misfired idle, but as I'm driving it now, I don't know if you can hear, it kind of stutters a little bit every now and then. It didn't do that earlier, but after my pull, now it's doing it a little bit. My bad, but it's fine. It's a 2.0. I'm not worried about it. So made it home just fine. Again, you can't feel it, but it has a little bit of a stutter, maybe a misfire. Let me hear it in the back. I don't know, it still sounds pretty, little, like slight misfire, but I just ran it to like 6,000 RPM. It probably hasn't done that in forever. I'm sure the plugs are black as ever, so I have to swap those out. Oh, you hear it now. There it is. So, new plugs, maybe some new plug wires, and it should be fine. All right, so it's been a few hours. Been helping Casey. We've been packing because our second, the company comes tomorrow to pick up our second round of stuff, our clothes, like our household goods, that kind of stuff. I mean, even though we're almost out of here, there's still so much paperwork and out processing to do. It's mind-blowing, but check this out. Look how nice this engine bay is looking. Now, I didn't trim paint anything. If I was keeping this car, be here for a long time, I'd go through and trim paint all the plastic, but in the meantime, the back to black does work. It does fade, but for now, it'll be good enough, and that does look pretty good. Went through, wiped down the engine cover, the battery cover, and the intake and the tube up there. Wiped all up here and the strut towers, and on this side as well. And I gotta say, it's not bad. I mean, this car really is not a bad car. A few small things here and there, a blue hatchback on it, but like, the car is sick. It's a 2.0, it's manual. I'd probably go through and swap out the tan interior, but like, some wheels on it, some brakes on it, lower it down. It'd be a sick, simple daily, which is what it's gonna be, and it's already sick. I love it. I'm glad to be back in a wagon. This thing's awesome. And I think at this point, we're ready for inspection tomorrow. We'll see what happens. If it fails, it fails. If it passes, it passes. Really not that big a deal. If it's a minor thing to fix, I'll fix it and try again. But if not, we'll do the temp plate for 30 days and then we're out of here. So I'm not really too worried about it, but it'd be cool if we pass first try. And I said, it'd be funny if this was the car that I just don't care if it passes, that passes first try, they overlook stuff, and we'll see what happens. But that's for tomorrow. But as the car currently sits, I'm happy with it. The wheels look sick. The calipers look sick. Engine bay is nice and clean. Really like this car. I'm gonna end it off here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. Do you think the little blue wagon, will this be our first car that passes first try? On our first attempt, will we make it out of inspection completely clean, get long plates right away, and they say nothing about the car? Or will they find something dumb about the car and I fail, because I always fail for something? But will this be the one that passes first try? The car that I don't care about, if it passes, will this be the one? I'm feeling good. And even though every time I say I'm feeling good, I always fail, but like, I'm feeling good about this one. We'll see. Hope you guys enjoyed. Do not forget, be thankful for every single day. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.